Welcome to Talk Theory. It's your host, Kiara Barnes, where I talk all things life, what makes us human, and what makes us superhuman. Sit back, relax, and join me for a chat. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? I hope good. Welcome back to another episode of Talk Theory. I'm Kiara Barnes, your host, and it's lovely to have you. Okay, so I don't really have too many updates. Excuse me, tea break. So I'm getting straight into it. A little disclaimer before we get into the topic. I just want to say I am in no way, a professional dermatologist. I'm just going off my own personal experience and what's worked, what I've noticed, what's definitely not worked for me, okay? So, yeah, just want to put that out there before anyone wants to be like, well, I went to school for this and like you're lying. I'm just telling you the facts, folks, just what I noticed, okay? So today we are talking skincare. There's really so much to say. Honestly, this industry is multi-billion-dollar industry. It basically goes hand in hand, with makeup and all other things beauty, I'd say. I mean, skincare is definitely under the same sector as beauty. Now, a few episodes back, I was telling you guys I would talk about my routine, but I wanted to test out a few things first before coming to y'all and giving you an update. And I've learned a lot. And also I learned, you got to take your time. I mean, this is kind of like months in the making, really. So I could figure out what my body seems to be liking, what it seems not to be liking. And I'm still kind of sorting it out, but it's getting good at this point. So I, for the most part, have really sensitive skin. And what I mean when I say that is my body in general will tell me immediately if it doesn't like something. So I try to stick to what I know for the most part. Of course, I think with trending things going on TikTok, there's all kinds of different serums and creams and products and anti-aging and this and that. Stronger things like retinols, tretinoins, and that can really irritate my skin. And also, if you don't know what retinols and tretinoins are, I'll try and give a little breakdown. But basically, retinol is the more natural derivative of vitamin A, and tretinoin is a synthetic form of vitamin A, and it's a bit stronger, tretinoin is. But they're both doing the job of basically increasing cell turnover on the skin, and it helps push out old gunk to the surface. And the idea is that it's going to create a new, fresh base of skin. So your skin is really smooth and any wrinkles and all that stuff aren't as deep. Now, in theory, this sounds great because it's overall, over time, key word, going to give you smooth baby skin, like I said before, because you're not waiting the natural time your body would actually take to get rid of all that extra oil and stuff, debris, whatever it might be in the pores. And usually this can help, for folks that have really intense acne or just want to improve skin texture, helps with hyperpigmentation because technically it's really exfoliating the skin as well. But because it's helping shed all of that stuff out. But depending on the strength, how sensitive your skin is, how much you're applying, how frequently, this can really, really, really irritate the skin. and create some gnarly pimples. Because again, it's forcing these oils, other gunk, to come up to the surface. Now, if you have pretty strong skin, then, and it works for you, it works for you. But the problem here is there can be only one, or I guess when it comes to pimples, they're gonna, you could get like maybe one pimple, or you could get a couple. And then the scarring that happens, because my skin scars for sure. And if you pick at them, or if you're exfoliating on top of that stuff, like with a BHA or an AHA, which are just different forms of chemical exfoliants, or even using a physical exfoliant, okay, it can irritate even more and create just more breakouts. And I think that's a common mistake. One, I will say this. Sometimes you could be seeing something that looks like a breakout, but really it's just your skin barrier has been disrupted by a lot of powerful ingredients going onto the face. So you could be having a face purge, but you could also just be having an intense reaction, and your skin is just the barrier, the moisture, what's supposed to be protecting your face, is off balance, the pH on your face, and now you're getting all these bumps. So figuring out which is which took me a second, and I found out that it was really a skin barrier issue. And once I started treating that, my face got so much better. And I think that also it's just a common mistake. People think when they see a breakout happening that it means they need to clean their face more, that their face is just really dirty and they just need to get in there more. But like I said, it could be a damaged skin barrier situation. It could really be multiple reasons why you're having this breakout. So let's start with what we can do in terms of with our bodies, what you consume. Checking to see what it is you're eating or not eating, what you're drinking or not drinking. For me, I found out that what's going on in my gut ends up being expressed on my face pretty quickly. For one, I have a pretty big sensitivity to the ingredient of yeast, and if it's in a combination with gluten. If it's just gluten, I seem to be okay, but I can't have too much of it back to back, or I can sense of a disruptant in my stomach, just feeling uncomfortable. But when I have the ingredient yeast, I get these little bumps all over my face. They're not quite pimples. They're basically closed comedones, which is a whitehead forming. Also, my scalp becomes really flaky, really big chunky flakes. Yeah, I'm sorry, TMI, but I'm giving you guys the the down low, okay? Which is the absolute worst after you've just styled or done something like that. Now, I was doing research, and I found that apparently the ingredient yeast, especially when it's with gluten, it basically just ups your natural oil production. So that's kind of what happens is the scalp is shedding so much because it's trying to release as much oil off the scalp. And that's what really that is. And then same with the face, you're getting all these whiteheads coming up because your body's trying to secrete those oils. Now, for some people, it doesn't, there's nothing like it. You don't have this experience at all. But for other people that might be on a little more of the oily side, that can trigger that. The next thing is an easy one. We all know, but it is helpful. Water. Drinking water is going to help hydrate the skin, but also flush out any toxins in the body and assist you in just regulating that. Now, obviously, things like processed sugars and drinking soda super frequently is also going to just disrupt the body as well. And this is not to say that you can't have any of that stuff, like candies and sweets, because I still do. Okay? But I just don't have it every single day. Or, if I'm going to do sugars, then I do something that's like fruits or smoothies and things like that. But I don't consume processed sugars like, candy every single day because I know how my skin reacts to that. But the two things I really want to say that I started incorporating, super easy to do, but it really made a difference. One, fermented vegetables, kimchi or sauerkraut. I love kimchi, I really do. But sometimes it can be a little too salty and leave my face a little puffy depending how much I have of it. So sauerkraut is another really good one because I feel like I don't get super like a bloated face. I will warn you, it's an acquired taste for sure and can take some getting used to. I personally don't mind it at all, but I'm also a lover of salt and vinegar chips and sour candy, so I don't mind it. But I'll usually try and get literally just a spoonful of that a day, and I found that that has really helped the bacteria in my stomach just stay balanced, and my face has definitely looked a lot more glowy as of late doing that, being consistent with that. Another thing I like is drinking spearmint tea and lemon balm tea. I usually mix them and have them in one. Drinking that even 3 to 4 times a week has definitely helped me with inflammation. I will say this, I learned because I was like drinking it at nighttime before bed, and I would like have such a trouble going to bed and feel like I had a bunch of acid, which makes sense. I mean, it's spearmint tea, it's like mint and lemon, which is citrusy. And yeah, it would disrupt my sleep. So I found getting up in the morning and just having that, like that cup of tea with my smoothie or whatever other breakfast I have, works much better. So there's a tip. Lemon balm is known to help with stress and anxiety and just to keep the body feeling more relaxed, which is also always good for the skin. And why it's nice to do this right in the morning, because I feel this is just something that I've learned recently. Like, instead of waking up and going straight onto Instagram or checking my emails or going straight, I need to give my body time to acclimate with the fact that we just woke up. Like, we're alive. We just woke up. Because you go from such a, I think it's a delta wave or something. It's like your deep sleep. I think I'm gonna have to check. But either way, you're in a really deep sleep, and then when you're waking up, you're still in this very calm state. So if you give yourself an immediate stimulus, you go into this really active energy wave. I can't remember which one this one is called, but it's basically the energy wave that we all sit at consistently in the middle of our day when we're working and we're using our brains and we're being active and stuff like that. But when you do that first thing in the morning, it creates like this peak of stress, and that can even put your hormones out of balance. So what I've been trying to do, even if it's like 10 minutes, I'm waking up and I'm putting on Savasana music or yoga music or meditation music, and then I'm going straight upstairs, headphones in, and I'm getting smoothie, or I'm getting I'm getting tea, whatever it is, doing my affirmations just so I can ease myself into the day. So there's that. So it's good for anxiety and to keep the body feeling relaxed, right? Lemon balm. But spearmint has an anti-inflammatory and antibacterial and anti-androgen properties. Now, the special part here is the anti-androgen properties. Androgen is a male hormone, and a lot of us can have an excess of that, and that creates more production of sebum, which is just oil in the face, and that is what can cause the breakouts, especially for those of us that have menstrual cycles, because we will usually have a decline in estrogen, the hormone estrogen, before our periods. And having this hormonal boost of androgen, we can get what's called hormonal breakouts. It's an overproduction of oil. And I've definitely noticed less cramping and breakouts drinking this tea consistently before my period. So there's a pro tip for you if you want to try it out. It's good. The other thing that's simple but worth the check-in that anyone can do is making sure you're washing your sheets. That's it, really. And doing it. I do mine every week, once a week. And I also don't like using the same washcloth for my face multiple times in a row. I've seen a lot better results doing that. These are really easy fixes that can help with having any facial sensitivity. Okay, now to get into ingredients. It took me a minute to find anything that has, to find out, but anything that has the ingredient methyl, that word is in there, meth or methyl, it usually has another word attached to it, like methyl sulfate or methyl taurate or something like that. The word methyl. And it's followed by, like I said, another word. And what I found is that that is a preservative that increases shelf life of a product. I know it's in most drugstore brands because basically it allows the product to stay on the shelf and help them keep it at a different price point, because you can make these things in bulk and put them on all these shelves and they're designed to last for a longer period of time. For some folks, this doesn't bother them. Their skin doesn't react at all to that ingredient. But for me, I found it really does. I tried a particular new face wash because everyone on TikTok was saying it was so great, it's so affordable. And I thought, you know what? Let me just see what the hype is about. And immediately I got all these bumps on my face. But, they say, if you're introducing a new product to your routine, your skin may have a reaction. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So they're like, oh, give it about a week, Let me tell you, my face on day 2 was burning, red, bumpy. And I'm just like, no, because this is supposed to be a hydrating cleanser for sensitive skin. And I was not going to wait 7 days for it to get better and keep using my this stuff on my face. Like, if I'm burning, we're not continuing. So I went back to my regular face wash, and literally within 24 hours, all of those crazy bumps gone. Okay? The burning and all of that stopped, and I was good to go. And I had another product that I was using, but I was like, gosh, I get breakouts. What's going on? Well, turns out that was another ingredient. As soon as the methyl thing, and as soon as I stopped using that product, no more breakouts. I'm like, whoa, okay. So I just started doing my research on all the products I was using, moisturizers, all of that, and to even see if they have pore clogging ingredients, and doing research on what worked for me. The ingredient thing is crazy because I even looked up the scar serum I was using, which did the trick, but I noticed after a pimple scar would finally leave, I'd have 2 more breakouts right after. And so it was the cycle of buying the scar serum, which wasn't cheap, y'all. And finally, I looked at the ingredients and found out, one, it had pore cloggers in there. So it was irritating my skin, but also, again, it had that methyl thing in it. So it was like literally designed to break you out on purpose so that you have to keep buying this product to get rid of those scars. And I was like consistently buying this bottle of serum for maybe like 3 months, guys, like maybe 3. I would say like maybe 3 months back to back to back. to get rid of this stuff. And I'm like, gosh, I can't stop buying it because I keep having these scars. And then I eventually was like, okay, we're just going to have to stop using this totally and just kind of deal with if I get a pimple and like writing it out essentially without using something else. And I was shook. I was really shook. I cut that serum out and another moisture that was a little too thick for my face and it had a lot of pore cloggers. My face since then has been so much smoother and fine. And for exfoliator, I have a physical one that is water soluble. I've tried the liquid chemical. Everyone, you gotta get a BHA, girl. Girl, I tried. My face did not like it. We're not forcing. Some faces just aren't ready to receive that stuff or even need it. That's the crazy thing, right? Like sometimes your face is fine, but you know, TikTok and it's the day and age of influence. So we see and we're like, oh, I should use this. And you don't even need it. So I have a physical one that I use. It's water soluble and I use it usually just once a week. And I think I hope water soluble. It just means that it's physical. I add water to it and then I wash my face with it. I do that once a week and I find that works best for me. So now my new routine is in the morning, I don't wash my face. I found when I wash my face morning and night, my skin is so irritated and dry and just my face, my girl, she just don't like it. You know, she's just not with it. So I don't wash my face in the morning with a cleanser. I just rinse it off with water. It's not all that dirty. I just wash my face the night before. I'm not rolling in a pit of mud at night. We're good to go. Rinse it off with water. And I do my regular sunscreen moisturizer combination. And that's that. End of day, I usually do a double cleanse. So I use like a micellar water. Right now I've liked that because I like using the face balm one, the kind of makeup remover that it's like it melts away your. I like that stuff for when I have heavy makeup days on set when the micellar water is just, it's not, because we're getting retouched with makeup. I mean, like every 5-10 minutes, I need something deeper that's going to get all that out. But I find that can be a little too much for me when I'm just doing my regular makeup days. So I'll do my micellar water and then I do my regular wash and that's it. Moisturizer, wash the face, moisturizer, and then I'll, like I said, exfoliate once a week. If I'm seeing any breakout, I put a pimple patch on that I know that doesn't irritate my skin and use that. And by the morning, it's calmed down or fades away completely. I will say this, don't cheap out on the pimple patches. I did that. I went on Amazon. I was like, oh my gosh, cute. A whole pack of like 200 for $8. Oh yes. Girl, I messed up my skin so bad. Oh my gosh. Right when it was just getting good. And I'm like, I just need to stick to what I know because then you spend so much money trying to get rid of all the damage that happened. So anyway, now I use the pimple patches that I know that work for me. And I might do like light, and I'm afraid to even say this because I don't want you guys to like start going crazy, but I might do light extractions with the right tool after exfoliation. Okay. Once a week just to help get anything the surface, but it's super, super, super light. I'm not forcing anything. We've all had that where we get a little trigger happy and we want to hit every single spot and keep going until your face is just red or bleeding. Like, no more squeezing or forcing. If it doesn't easily come out, I'm just leaving it be. And I'm like, all right, the next round we do exfoliating, it'll be able to come out. But right now, I'm leaving it be. And I've realized the less stuff going on, the better my skin reacts. And I guess I'll have to give my little brother credit at the end here, because as we're coming to close, because he has really good skin and he was the one that was like, you need to simplify your stuff, dude. Like, your face is having a reaction because you have so much stuff going on. And so one day, I just tried it, and within like a solid 2 weeks of just simplifying the routine, my skin has been so happy. It's been relaxed and just thriving. I'm like, yeah, honestly, getting back to the basics, it's been great. So that's my update on my skin. Now, let's get into the theory of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed that little update, and hopefully it helps. Taking care of yourself from the inside out emanates a glow beyond skin deep. Well, thank you guys for joining me for this episode. I hope it was informative. I get so weary about sharing this kind of stuff because, you never know. Skin is so personal in the sense that it's your own biochemistry happening. And so I can't really predict what works for you. And it's really a process of just finding out. But I think the most important thing is just, doing your research on ingredients. I spent like hours and hours just looking up all these ingredients and doing cross-referencing to find out that, oh, if something has methyl whatever in it, I end up getting like a very irritated skin reaction. Interesting. And so, just look at your ingredients and trial and error and try and make it simple, and figure out what works for you. All right. That's all I have for you guys. Again, thanks for being here. If you like this episode, give me a good rating, okay? Share it with friends and family. And I shall see you next week. Okay, love you. Bye.